everybody, it's Louise from the Bright Star Creative, which is my channel for YouTube. And today we're doing a piece for the Autumn Collaborative. It's a great thing to do. It's fun, you know. Oh, excuse my dog. He has his have to have his say. Yes, hello. All right, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Oh no, he's settled down. I thought I was going to have to get up and let him out. Oh dear. I have two huskies who have a lot to say for themselves. Just when you don't want them to. But there we are. That's life with dogs, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to make this. It's like a leaf-shaped dish. You can use it for your rings and things when you take them off, your earrings, you know. You could use it for sweeties, all sorts of things. But I thought it was a nice idea for the Autumn Collaborative being a leaf. And I thought we'd go with some really nice autumn colours. So first things first, resin. So today I'm using a new resin for me, and it's the T-Expert, I think that's how you say it, or T-Expert epoxy resin. And it's a 1-to-1, and it's self-leveling, bubble free it says, so we'll test that one out. Crystal clear and yellow resistant. So and it's done by volume, which I always find easier to do. So I've already pre-mixed my resin because, you know, you don't want to watch me mixing it for the next 5 minutes. It's a bit boring. So we've done that already. And what I did was I mixed up 120 mils of resin, so 60 of each. Probably a bit too much, but if it is, that's fine. I've got plenty of other little things that I can use the spare up on. It's always a good idea to have something to one side, you know, a smaller mold or something like that that you want to add stuff to. For me, I've got one of these bowls, and I just add layers of leftover resin, and the results can be really pretty. So let's get on with this, shall we? Now, it's one of these ones where you don't need to add your colour beforehand, because what we're going to do is put our clear resin in and then drop in alcohol inks and a little bit of glitter. So that just it makes it quite a nice pour. Not lots of pre-mixing and all different pots of different colours. And now the thing I find with this mould is that you have to pour it quite slowly, because the edges kind of sit almost on the bottom of the mould, and if you're not careful you end up with it all coming out over the sides. So it's a case of just gradually adding it in, waiting a minute, let it settle in, let it find its way into all the little nooks and crannies. Now I'm going to stop at that point because I want to add in my colours now. And also there's a bit of extra resin going in with my gold stone here. So what I'm going to do is I've got some Decorum metallic alcohol inks, and these are really good fun, but you don't want to put a lot in because, like most metallics, they can take over. The other thing is give them a good shake. But I thought if we started with a little drop of, so we've got copper, so let's give it a couple of drops of copper. And the idea is that this is just going to flow and find its own way and its own pattern. Isn't that pretty? And such a beautiful autumnal colour. So we've got 3 drops of the copper. You can always go back and add more. It's like you know, don't put too much salt or sugar in. You know, try a bit, see if it's okay and add. And my mum always used to say, you can always add, but you can't take away. And she was right. Like a lot of things our parents say to us that we roll our eyes at. I remember doing it, and I remember watching my kids do it to me. So they call the cycle of life. Okay, so this one actually is brown. I mean, it doesn't look very brown to me, but let's see if it's any different. Just a slightly darker copper, isn't it? So I think I'm only going to add a couple of drops of that because it's very similar, and I don't want it to be all one colour. So we'll just add one. Now I've got a gold here. I love copper. I just think it's such a warm colour. I really do like it. Now let's just pop a gold in the middle. There we go. Oh, look at that. That is lush, isn't it? One there. And we'll put one right over here. Oh, that was two. Never mind. Now I'm going to give that a minute just to do its thing. And I think also I'm just going to lift this edge, because what I want it to do is actually to go down into the actual sides a little bit. It doesn't have to go all the way down. What I found with this one, and I have done this one before, it's actually one of my favorites to do, is that you end up with kind of the clear edges and then these beautiful colors in the base of the dish, which looks amazing and very flexible. You can do summer, you can do an Easter one with your yellows. And oh, hang on, this is a new one. Let's just open this up without stabbing myself, hopefully. There we go. There we go. This little tool, I think I got from Temu, actually, believe it or not, and it was only about £1, but it has been one of the most handy tools I've ever had. And it's just a little, like a little needle, I suppose, but it's great for all of these bottles, you know, where you've got to open up the new one. And I don't like cutting the end off, because you end up with sometimes no control over the flow that's coming out. So if you see one of these, or the other thing you can use is like the push pins for your cork board. You can use one of those as well. So you don't have to have anything super special. Now, can you see how much this is settled down? This now here has no resin in it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to top that off a bit, because nothing's going to flow if there's no resin. And that just shows you how, if you just leave it for a few minutes, let it find its way, you'll find that all of a sudden it's all gone down into the outside and you've got space for some more resin. Now with this one, it doesn't matter about if you end up mixing and, you know, pushing and prodding it into corners and things, because that's the point. You just want this to do its own thing, and it's never the same. Doesn't matter how many times you make this, it's going to look different. Right, so this is just orange, and this is the Let's Resin alcohol inks. Now these are quite intense. They're not like your normal alcohol ink that you need to add quite a lot. These are specifically made as a more intense colour. And it does say that they don't spread as far as a normal alcohol ink. So we'll just have to see. Again, it's new to me, and you just have to try and see what it does. But it's looking good. It's looking okay. Now I think, again, wait a second, just let it settle again. You can even give it a bit, if you're careful, a little bit of a drop. Also help to get any bubbles out that are stuck down in these little bits here. Give them a little squeeze very carefully, otherwise you're going to end up squeezing all your resin out. And I like to get in there and just pull that out, pull these edges out, really get things down into the corners. It's a bit of a messy one, this one, but as long as you don't mind getting in there. Right, now let's just get some of that colour back off the gloves, because it's not where we're wanting it. I've always been one to get my hands in. Even when I was baking, I always liked to get my hands in and get involved. I do like to put body and soul into to what I make. Right, so we're going to top this off again, a little bit more. Can you see now that if you'd poured all of this in one go, it would have just overflowed? You know, and it's just, you have to have patience with this mold. And I found it out the hard way. Yes, I did, if you're asking. And I bet you are. Okay, so now we're going to put a little bit of this. I'm just going to sprinkle these because I am quite happy if they stay just on the base. I'm not wanting them to go down into the rim specifically. I'm just wanting a little bit just around, just at the bottom there, just to give it a bit of extra dimension, bit of added interest. And that really is it. Apart from, I think, we're going to pop a little bit of this kind of copper, oh, there we go. It's the copper glitter, very sparing because I don't want to lose the clear look around the edges, but we're just going to pop a bit of that in as well because it's really pretty and it will just tie in with the alcohol ink. And again, give everything a squeeze, pull your edges out. There we go, just, that's it. Now it looks a mess, yes, and I'm a mess, but once it's set and it's hardened and you turn it out, it is stunning, believe me, it can look amazing. So I'm just gonna clean my hands up a little bit and we're going to give it a bit of a torch just to get any lingering bubbles out the way, and we will leave that one to harden off. And this is going to be a two make this video because this one's so quick and easy. I thought we could do a second item, and that's going to be the pumpkin. Same kind of colours. You can in fact use the same colours all together, because then they'll match and it will look quite nice on your bedside table, or you know, by the telly, whatever, on your side table. I was going to say your telephone table, but you don't tend to have those these days, do we? So now I'm thinking, I just want to check how deep this is. There's very little on the top there, and if I can get some more in, I'm going to, just because I don't want that to be too thin. So we'll just drizzle a little bit more in there. Plus it will push things down, and we're going to get as much in as we can. Right up to the rim there. There we go. Because if you don't put enough in, you end up with the base being so thin that it really doesn't have much substance to it at all. There we go. Let's just give that a little scrape around. Wrong one. Let's use this one. This is better, isn't it? And there we go. I'll just pop that in there. And that actually, amount wise, worked out perfectly. Let's see how much I've got left in my cup and we can kind of judge. So I think I did say I'd have a bit too much. Yeah, so you could probably get away with doing, what did I say I did? 120. You could probably do 80. 80 mils will probably fill this. So, but it doesn't matter because, as I say, I'm doing a two makes in one part. So give me a minute to clean up, and I'm going to pause you just for a second, and we'll go on and do our second make. Okay, guys, see you in a minute.